I was wrong about Fangbreaker. It's that simple. I got stuck on one aspect of the rule set and completely missed how good the server was going to be. I put out a video after the Fangbreaker TLP was announced. It wasn't called Fangbreaker yet, it was just unnamed 2025 TLP server. And I reacted to the rule set while I read it because I hadn't actually seen any of the information on it yet. I gave it a pretty negative review and basically said it was doomed to fail. No, I don't. That's too long. That's way too long to be stuck at level 50. With like especially being underleveled for the zones. Like, okay, have us underleveled. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't like that. I'm just rambling at that point. I don't like it. But I straight up whiffed on that one. We're sitting at about a month into the server and I'm having a lot of fun. Probably the most fun that I've had since Mischief, and definitely more fun than I had on Teak. And I actually thought that server was going to be good, so maybe I'm just really bad at predicting these things. I think I know what happened though. I got caught up on one thing that I saw as a negative and was unable to see the rest of the server for what it really was. I saw the very long time that it was going to take for players to be able to get past level 50 and then eventually hit 60, and I thought that was completely unreasonable. 24 weeks. That seems like a long time to me. Isn't that like almost 6 months? And to be honest, experiencing it on the server, I even managed to be completely wrong about that. So that's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to talk about the level cap. On paper, it kind of looks terrible. I mean, just look at my reaction to it when I read it at first. Really? Okay. So they're going to start the server with the first 3 expansions out, but have everyone level locked to 50. That's interesting. So yeah, that'll definitely make things more difficult. Okay, never mind. I actually sounded cautiously optimistic there. I was a bit skeptical though. I mean, is it actually fun being stuck at level 50 trying to beat content that was designed for level 60? Well, it turns out the answer is yes. Yes, it is. Now, I'm going to share a little insider secret here. Don't tell any of the people from the other MMOs, but EverQuest is really easy. Having the challenge of trying to defeat hard-hitting bosses without the benefit of AAs or defensive disciplines or anything like that is actually really fun. And with all of the actual raid loot being really hard to get, it's actually forcing people into gearing through dungeons and small groups and trade skills, which is also really cool. I mean, holy crap, we're actually using a large portion of the game world that was designed. And unlike on Mischief and Teak, where you could just pick a couple bosses that were easy to kill and gain access to an entire loot bucket, on Fangbreaker, you actually have to hunt down specific bosses to get specific pieces of gear, and it adds a lot of variety to the rating. So, while editing this, it just occurred to me that I just explained how regular EverQuest works to a bunch of EverQuest players. So don't judge me too hard on that one. It's wild, but level 50 cap is a big win for me, and gradually raising the cap after 50 is a win as well. I mean, opening just level 51 at the end of July is a sneaky good move. I mean, open up your AA window and look at the list of AAs available to you at 51. Go ahead, do it now. You're an EQ player. I know full well you never actually close the game. I'll wait. Okay, now think about this. When was the last time you were excited to hit 51 so you could grind out some of those AAs? When was the last time you turned on AAs at 51 at all? But now on Fanbreak. When was the last time you turned on AAs at 51 at all? But now on Fangbreaker, we're all excited to hit 51 so we can grind out those AAs for the tiny difference that it's going to make. Guilds are strategizing how to quickly grind out those AAs as soon as the cap goes up for the tiny buff that it's going to give in what is very difficult raid content right now. And that's great. Playing on a TLP usually means skipping and ignoring a ton of the content in the game. EverQuest TLP servers are like driving past a really nice park on your way to work. And Fangbreaker is like stopping at that park and going for a hike and really appreciating the great scenery that you've missed. And speaking of things to appreciate, quests. You wouldn't know it from playing on EverQuest TLP servers, but EverQuest has a lot of quests. Interesting quests, fun quests. Quests that everyone usually skips because they're in such a rush to complete content before the 8 weeks allotted to that expansion they're done. But on Fangbreaker, you're capped at 50 and there's no new expansions in sight. So what is there to do? Quests. As soon as I hit 50, I started working on the Coldane Shawl quests. It's a massive 8-step long quest chain that you have to travel all over the continent of Velios. You have to raise your trade skills. I love trade skills, by the way. And it all culminates in a big escort quest across Iceclad Ocean. That's Iceclad, not Iscalad, for the record. And it takes, at level 50, like 3 groups of your friends or guildies to help you trudge through this escort quest. It's actually a lot of fun. There's extra drops for your guildies along the way, and it's just a great experience. And you end up with a really, really good item for level 50 for your shoulder slot. A great item, even considering that you can't get a lot of the boss loot, the high-end raid loot that's available at this level. There are also several long quest chains in Kunark that can be done in this era. There's one in particular for a really nice shield that has a clickable primal essence buff that Melee absolutely love. And that quest takes you all over Kunark to a bunch of different zones that you'd probably skip on a server like Teak or Mischief. There's also a second shield with a clickable dot, not as popular. And there's a pure caster shield item with an improved damage bonus on it. All quests that we have tons of time to do since we're level capped at 50, and they're actually interesting and challenging because we're capped at 50. And then, of course, you have epics. Guilds are always pushing to get their cleric epics done because everybody wants the click sticks for raids, but I have never seen such a big collaborative push by guilds to get epics done on a TLP server. I mean, we're level locked for, 24 weeks? We've got time to get everybody's epic done. Even people that don't really need them, like shamans. In my guild, all of our warriors are finishing their warrior epics because they're actually good threat weapons when you can't farm Avatar of War for the Blade of Carnage. And as a mage, I got my mage pet clicky, which at level 50 is super overpowered. So what about the downside? Being level capped for 24 weeks. As you can see here, I was somewhere between angry and baffled when I reviewed the rule set back in May. Yeah, but for 24 weeks? 36 if you count when it's raised to 60, that is a long time. Do they know how long that is? 24 weeks is like 6 months. Am I doing the math wrong, or is that like 6 months? That's, what is there, 52 weeks in a year? Yeah, that's like 6 months. Okay. I got to get over that. That's crazy, though. Now, we're just over a month into the server and still a couple weeks away from even hitting 51, let alone level 60 way off in November. And at this point, I can honestly say that I was wrong. The length of the level cap is actually not a bad thing. Yes, it is a long time, but instead of players getting bored like I thought they would, they're actually putting in the work and progressing. Guilds are working on progressing. They're slowly gearing up with the content they can clear week after week and pushing forward bit by bit. And it also leaves room for the thing that I mentioned earlier, stopping and enjoying the process. Leveling alts, doing quests, leveling trade skills. It's actually been great, and I've heard hardly anything at all in terms of people complaining about having to wait for the level cap to go up. Part of that can be attributed to the fact that EQ is just a straight up good game with a lot of interesting content. And part of it can be attributed to the Resource Hunter mechanic. Now, this is the one I really whiffed on. I said it sounded interesting and then kind of brushed it aside and ignored it. I kind of wish they had done something interesting that didn't make me feel bored just thinking about it. I was so caught up with the 24 weeks stuck at level 50 that I completely missed that they were giving us something that we had been asking for a long time. Rotating hot zones. And not just rotating experience hot zones, but a variety of rotating hot zones that actually bring a lot to the game. You've got experience bonus, you've got rare spawn bonus, you've got respawn bonus, coin loot bonus, loot drop bonus, faction bonus. skill increase bonus,
Shrimp soup, shrimp stew, shrimp salad.
and all of them randomized every day. So you have to check and see where you want to go. And it's taking people to corners of Norath that they haven't been to in years. There's a set route that players usually use to level up through TLP content, and then a zone or two that people use to grind out AAs when those are open. And Resource Hunter has completely thrown that out the window. People are doing things like setting up experience groups in Akiva Ruins or Frontier Mountains. I was in the Over There the other day and there were 5 picks open. I haven't seen people flock to the Over There for experience in those kind of numbers since 2001. Even the legacy character part of Fangbreaker has kind of been cool. It was on Oakwind, and at that point, it was just kind of But on Fangbreaker, it kind of has a new dimension. On Fangbreaker, people are using the Hot Zone experience bonuses to level up a bunch of alts so that they have a big bonus when the AA experience drops in July. And people are playing classes that they maybe haven't played before because they're leveling like one of everything. So overall, Fangbreaker has been great. It's far from the dead on arrival server that a lot of people, myself included, predicted. And given the nature of the server and the hot zones, it's far from too late to start on Fangbreaker. So if you aren't already playing, get in there and join the fun.